Ugh. I don't know why they always ask you to set the time. Like, why can't they just pick up the time from your computer? Ah, 5:48 p.m. Your favorite time of day. Is it? Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. He asked me to give him my favorite time. After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 5:48 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 5:48? Well, it's 5:49 now, so let's say almost perfectly accurate. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. Me too. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. Is it? I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Oh. Okay, well that'll be for next time. If there is a next time. I need to hydrate. I wish I could like hear what they're saying in the background exactly. It's like these kind of conversations, but I can't exactly hear what they're saying. Salut tout le monde, it's your boy, Lukael. Welcome back to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. This is episode 3. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played this game in like a month. It's been a little bit since the last time we played this. We had the holidays and then like I did these tier list videos and like I was pretty busy with other stuff. And so I haven't actually played this in quite a long time. I don't like fully remember what we did last time. I remember we kind of went through some of the new content that is unique to the Ultra Deluxe version of the game, with like the Stanley Parable 2 stuff, and we still have some more of that to explore. And then I'd begun kind of exploring the choices we got by going through the right door, and so I'm going to be doing some more of that today. I didn't even know I was going to do a part 3. Honestly, I was kind of going to do just like 2 parts, but turns out there's way more than I thought. So I'm going to keep playing it, and I guess I'm going to keep going until I run out of stuff to do. But I think there is at least enough for a 3rd episode. So sorry about that like 3 weeks long break that we had between episode 2 and 3. And thank you for joining me back today. And without any further ado, let's jump right back in. As you know, the end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
How nice to hear your voice again. And I'm back in this damn room again. Always in the same room. Oh, that's right. I forgot you could crouch in this. What if I just hide under the desk? Can I do that? Can I like hide under a desk some... Oh. Ugh. I thought that was like a little dark corridor here. Creepy. So now I can't hide? There has to be something you can do in this room, right? Like I'm sure they hid an ending in this room somewhere. Is it the pencil eraser ending? Is it the answering the phone ending? Computer ending? The file cabinet ending? What about this mysterious box there? That's kind of suspicious. So I can't... Oh, you can close the door.
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that.
Yeah.
No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Did that count? Did that count as an ending? If I just close the door again.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision?
Okay, it's the
What if
same.
a crucial outcome fell under his
You're locked in here. You can't even
responsibility? He had
leave.
never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except...
Okay, so I guess the same thing just happens again. Let's restart.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So people have been telling me in the comments that apparently it is possible to leave through the window, which I was trying to do in the previous episode. Apparently it is possible, but like, how can you climb
No matter how
up?
hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Because there's nothing you can really climb onto here. Oh. Ooh. Oh. Wait, maybe? Maybe? If I use the chair? But it only works with this chair. Uh. Oh, oh. Oh. Yeah!
At
Free
first,
at
Stanley
last.
assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Oh. Huh. Yes or no? No.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here
You
just
son
to
of
do
a
the
bitch.
other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes
I was
some
totally gonna
time.
do that.
What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So,
yeah.
what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Would they have programmed something specifically for if you come here a second time? I wonder. I do love just sitting in this wide void. This is nice. I'm kind of expecting Morpheus to show up at any moment. I wonder if he even detects whether you're saying no or yes. I guess he did, huh? Oh, I am actually stuck inside of a room. Like, I can't go any further back than this. So I am actually locked in this little box here. It's not an infinite void. It only looks that way. Or I guess I am.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's see the other options since you've been tempting me so much.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature
I can
of
see the
video
window
game
up there.
structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. Why don't we
When
take
does
a
this
minute
window
just to
disappear?
drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Oh, it turns into it. We get like... Oh, no, it's still there. Whoa, wait. Oh, it was up there all along? Interesting. Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of
But I
them
like listening
are
to you.
appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
By all means.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function.
Hey now.
Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
Are we done? This is not unbearable. This is very pleasant music. Alright, I think this is going to loop forever, so let's get out of here.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
I think it's a photo. This was a new line. So, I've also been told that I missed out on the broom closet ending. Apparently I left too early or something. And we've still got our big shiny new content over there. Closet's on the left, right?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's check out the closet
Yet there was
again.
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Was there always like a hole in the table? Is it supposed to be like a glass? I don't remember this hole being there. Am I just misremembering this? I don't know.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I guess I'm just supposed to wait here instead.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
Didn't I
No
do this
reason
though?
to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Doing sweet all. I am doing something. I'm counting the items.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
2,
Standing around doing nothing?
3.
Why? Please offer me some
4.
explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I just like the closet, man. There's no other explanation. I just feel at home in here.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
That's what you want me to think. But what if this is the most important room in this whole story?
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite."
Oh, there's the line.
I hope your friends find this concerning.
Well, for it to be an ending, this needs to end.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
That's
That or
rude.
Drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Well, that is true. That's really rude.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
I'm clearly
In
still
a situation
moving.
like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species.
Are you not human?
Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
Commentary or comedy?
All right. When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Well, what if the second person that is now playing this game also wants to stay in the broom closet? Checkmate. Sadly, there's no other humans around near me. There's just my cat. So was that it? How can it be the closet ending if this is not an ending? If I can just leave, you know? That's not really an ending. What if I just close the door? I'm just gonna stay in here. It's a very loud light bulb, I will say. I think I'm gonna leave just because of that. Just because of that thing.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids.
Now.
Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
All right, let us restart. Wait, what the hell? Hello?
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Okay, was that what, my girlfriend? Stanley, you've got a girlfriend and she needs you to do some groceries. Is there just like a random chance of this happening on any reset? Oh. Alright, this time I'll go through the right door.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting
We'll go to
room,
the other
and
place.
Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Let's go straight ahead this time. Let's see what's over here. Some kind of plans? Some kind of
Stanley
blueprints?
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
And they're closing the doors behind me. Huh. So what's over here? Do not jump from the cargo while it is in motion will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift $1,000. Penalty for jumping up the cargo lift $5,000. Well, who are you gonna charge if I'm dead? Vent access for train employees only climb at your own risk. Ugh. Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Should we just...
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
Should we just
Now,
jump?
I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
I am kind of tempted to just...
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
So we just restarted then.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is
For
it,
her?
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who are you talking about? Can't be my girlfriend because I just got a call from her on the phone asking me to pick up some eggs and bacon. Well, that's creepy. Oh, that's super creepy. Ugh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
What the hell is going on? Hello? Yes?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Ah!
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
That was so fucking creepy. Don't do this to me. Gee
This
whiz.
is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Excuse me? Good morning, employee 427. Press B on your keyboard. I don't like being stuck in here with this fucking mannequin. What do you mean the death? What do you mean the death? Am I gonna die if I press B? This is really fucking creepy. The way like the voice changed just as the door opened, there was like this creepy figure. Ugh. Gave me chills.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press B to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone
this thing
in
leave?
the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Spend time with the boys?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
The baby? Tell your kids this. Oh, the room is turning into my office.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Be at work in the morning.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Question nothing?
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again,
Excuse me?
and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Wait, so did I actually die?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh, that's
What
so
could it
creepy.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That is creepy. Well, there is one more thing I could
When
do.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
It's a little high,
There's
but
someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
okay. Danger everywhere. Stop closing the doors behind me. This game is so creepy in such a unique way, you know? Just very unsettling. Do not stand on this side of the fence. No buckets past the bucket. The damn bucket.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Alright, I'll listen to you.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for?
Don't like when you're talking like that. What the hell?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
I don't know. Whoa. Woo. Look at all these fancy colors. That is pretty nice. Until it won't be. Now we've got green lights. Oh, now we've got red lights. How Christmassy. Well, you missed Christmas by a couple of weeks. How beautiful. Now it's kind of like Valentine's Day-ish. All right, let's leave. I guess that's our only option.
No, wait. Where are you going? Right. Where were we?
We were at the pink lights, I think. Anything else you want to show me? The lights are... Oh, okay. They're back. I was gonna say the lights are going out, but it's just these again. They're very square. Very square lights.
Oh no! Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Fine. Let's go back to the lights.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Well, I will stay here if you just keep talking to me, but then you stop talking to me, so... I'm afraid I will have to leave.
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
Alright, alright.
You are going to stay here, aren't you?
Of course. Of course.
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die! What about this isn't getting through to you? Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Now keep going. Convince me. I love how the walls have little lights on them. It's an interesting little touch. There, are you happy now? Alright, well, there's only one option for us, is there? To get out of this nightmare. This really is a nightmare, like, I've had dreams like this, I feel. Where I'm just like stuck in a place like this, and there's like only one way to get out, and it's like to pretty much jump off and die to leave the dream.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment.
Well, that's not right.
Can we please get back to the other room?
I guess so. Do I have a limp? Yeah, I'm walking slower now.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
It goes against everything a gamer stands for. I cannot stop moving. I gotta
Stanley,
keep going.
Go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
I've got to do it again. I've gotta.
No. No, no. What are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Nothing. There's nothing you can say. I just got to escape this nightmare. This time for sure.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Of course, sweetie.
Yes. Perhaps you can.
Let's go back.
Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I know
There
you'll
you
see.
go.
You'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you? No, perhaps not.
Ooh. Definitely walking slower now. So this means I have like a health bar. It's
My
hidden,
God. Is this really how much you dislike my game?
but nah.
That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
It's not all about you, you know.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Oh, now you sound so sad. You're making me feel
Do you
bad.
actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Well, you know. I have to get back at you somehow. No, I really love it
I
here.
wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I still thought that was possible.
Oh, did I break your trust? You don't trust me anymore? The fact I'm walking so slow now makes it like a little creepy, you know? It's like the slow walk up the stairs to your own death. Ugh. And you could so easily just reset, you know? You don't have to do all of this, but of course, you just gotta try it. Alright. Last time. Adieu.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Will he remember?
All of his co-workers were gone.
he doesn't
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Was this phone always here? This is the same phone, right? That she called me from? She? Alright, he doesn't remember. How much more is there, really?
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room?
Of course.
Truly, truly, deeply, madly love.
Now that you say it like this, I'm not so sure.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Blue door it is?
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, you're gonna play like that?
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
If I go through the red door, is it just gonna be like the same as before? Well, then I just have to keep going through the blue door.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback.
Okay.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
I'm gonna go a solid 3.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really. Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings. Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful.
What's wrong with 3?
Yeah, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one.
Let me see.
Take a look.
Hey, it's Nightmare from Soul Calibur 2. 91,000 doors opened. Did you know that 21% of players skipped the intro sequence? Only the worst 3% of players chose the blue door. 98% of players are more. How long does it take you to get to the correct door? Compete against others to improve your Stanley Parable career. Wow, I'm the worst player of everyone. Error. Friend list empty. Have I been playing this game for 7 hours, 37? That kind of feels right. This is your superior. A dead rat is offline. Okay. Wow, who's good old Neil? Why is he so good at this game? And all the way at the bottom, there's me. Yeah, I think a lot more than 9,000 people have been playing the game. You guys are being too harsh on yourselves. Objectively ranked. Oh. Alright, that was good.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
I'm gonna say you've made it worse.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game.
That's like a real-ass baby. Whose baby is this?
Of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Oh, that's very unpleasant.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work.
Oh,
Let's
please
give
show
it a
me.
shot. Aha, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
Oh my god.
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley, and it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
That's very funny considering I actually did a playthrough of this game on the channel. Should I just like put this playthrough here and then you guys can watch all of it? Let's open the lamp. What was he writing before like this happened? Bleach. Can I just drink this? Put an end to my fucking trouble? Man, what was that? Like 2 years ago, I think? Damn. That certainly is some Firewatch. They really just put like the whole ass game in the Stanley Parable. That's so funny. But of course, we are still in this game. I wonder how much of it they actually put in here.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
What can be?
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Whoa.
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it.
I mean, it's not really open world.
Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
Oh, please.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Something with walls, you say?
Okay.
What could it be?
I think this will be just the thing.
Go ahead, surprise me. I can't wait to see what it is.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind.
It's Rocket
Just
League.
a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this
true.
is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
You know, I've never actually played Rocket
Okay,
League.
so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball.
Not
Oh, what
sports
fun.
ball.
We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together.
Yes, let's.
Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Woo! Hey, I can actually interact with it. Oh, and I'm fast now. Oh, I'm so fast.
Are you doing
Yay!
it? Are you winning? Is this fun?
Yes.
Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
Yes.
Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball.
Okay.
Yes. Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a
Well, until I get a
confectionery
goal.
shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
It just kind of disappeared in there. Yeah. Ah, but you need to count my points. Sports ball is all
Are
about
you enjoying
points.
this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right.
Aw.
Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I am structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you'd like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
I love how there's only 2 sponsors. No, 3 sponsors. Rocket League, of course. Time to slam a Speebly. A Speebly. And then there's... what is it? Ideas Dice. And that's it. That's the only 3 sponsors here. Can I like throw myself in the goal? Yay!
What are you doing?
Yay!
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you.
Oh,
How
what
will
the
you
hell?
write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back. We still have...
Oh, that's so creepy. I don't like being in creepy dark hallways. Really don't like that. Am I like outside the map now? Whoop. Whoop. Ugh. Ah, it's so creepy. Stop putting me in creepy ass environments. I don't want to play horror games. Ooh. I hate this. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, what the hell? Oh, I don't like this. I hate that. Okay, I missed the narrator. Bring the narrator back. Can I not interact with any of this? Oh, for a second, I thought there was going to be a reflection in the window.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it, down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
But
I
the
can
end is
wait.
never the end. Back here we are.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
The orders?
No, the orders were still missing. For now.
My door is not closing this time. It usually closes by itself, but now it's not closing. Oh. Okay. How curious. Well, I think I've kind of seen everything I could see. By going through the right door also? Well then let's go and check out that new
Oh,
content.
good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Because we still had more to see.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Alright, so last time we did go to the reassurance bucket. What was this?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm
Right, the
undecided
balloons.
on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Happy 12th birthday, stepniece.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
This is the hole that goes on forever. This was very funny. I quite liked the infinite hole. I don't think there's a need to revisit that, right? Let's see if we can find something new. Free, new, and easy achievement. Get it here. Free achievement, get yours right now. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement. No more steps. It just works.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Test achievement unachieved?
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Give me the achievement! Pull me, please. Come on. Alright. Why did you place it in this creepy place? Why is it all dark and weird? Strange.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Can you find him? Can you find him? Can you find him? Collect them all. Oh, what are we collecting? Stars?
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
What
I
the-
don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Oh, that's so creepy. Like, the imagery in this game is actually quite striking. It's weird. Look at the little Stanley guy. Ooh. 0 out of 6. 1 out of 6. Okay. Can we actually find the other ones?
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Why'd the music change? Collectibles. So is this the only one? Can I actually find others? Can I jump now?
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2
I haven't
as
jumped this
well.
time.
It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw
Aw.
the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
God damn it. So we've got the jump
Calling it
circle.
the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
Yes.
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Alright, so jump circle we've seen. This map, I guess we've seen. The free achievement. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Merch. Settings World Champion. I think I've done that. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. Office Decorations. Epilogue. I don't think I've seen the epilogue. Infinite Hole and then the exit. So this would be the exit over there. Okay. Wait, where's the epilogues? Wasn't this here? Yeah, it's the epilogue.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
And, what's the settings thing? Yes, Settings World Champion. Let's see. Presentation. Wait, what? Enables content warnings and an option to skip sections of the game that deal with suicide. Oh, I guess there are like bits about suicide, huh? Could be a bit difficult for some people to go through. I can see that. So, am I supposed to do something like in the settings? How do you become the Settings World Champion? I'm not sure how you're supposed to open this door. Should I just go back to get the bucket again? Or should I go to the exit? You know what? Let's go get the bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical. Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Beautiful bucket. Just pick it up. Pick it up. So I don't know if the bucket actually does anything. We'd have to like go back and...
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Can you let me jump now? No? Still can't jump. Let's try and exit then. I don't know if like I restart the game, will I still have the bucket on me? I don't actually know. So it's looking good. It's looking pretty cool.
Right.
I can't wait to
Have you
play
seen
it.
everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
I guess so, yeah. Unless you have something else you want to show me? Oh.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
Yes.
I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do
Kinda.
very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course.
Yes.
With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Ooh. Wow. Pretty fancy. It's actually just the title screen. So if I just quit to desktop, do I come back to this?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building
balloons.
where he was employee number 427.
The balloons are there.
Employee number 427's job was simple. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting.
The fucking
or
balloons
even
are
say
there.
hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation.
And then we're playing the Stanley Parable
All of
2.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But I don't
No
have the
matter how hard
bucket.
Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I lost my bucket. There it is. Wait, should I pick up the bucket right away? Maybe I should keep the bucket for later. Because maybe the bucket's gonna change what's gonna happen.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
Oh, you want me to do it because it's new content. I'm good. I'm good.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Sure. Let's see how you've implemented your new features. No new features in the broom closet? How disappointing.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
The collectible.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember,
that's 2.
no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
Of course.
You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
You know, the satisfaction is plenty enough. I don't need any reward. Alright, now that we found 2, that makes me think that there really are 6 in the game. I'm gonna have to replay the whole thing. What if there's a collectible this way, though? Alright, let's stick to the main path, just to see if anything has changed. Okay, I don't think there's anything different in this version. Begin the game again. The sequel is now paused. Let's get the bucket this time. The damn balloon.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Figurine Finders Committee meeting today in the meeting room. Is this new?
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I'm gonna pick up the bucket and then go through the window.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Yeah.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self. The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed
fucking
and
music,
screamed
though.
and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power.
Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
But I wanna play with the bucket again. What the fuck?
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it.
Ah, don't.
If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
That's the worst one. I hate that. I hate that.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's a wave of comfort? After all, we know what this bucket is now.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh god, is everything going to be different now because of the... Oh no. Trust the completionist instinct. Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless, to be honest. Weird spinning figurines. Artist rendering. Ideas, our data, stock options, what do they want? Should we make them employees? What do they look like? Why floating? Magic? Our quarterly success? Magnets? Training exercise? Or management? Dreams? How many are there? 151 or 6? Can we sell them? Obviously. More money if sold together. Employee 421 building a bridge. Saw one in cargo room. Do we need contracts for them? Potential liability? NDA? Oh no. We need more planks. Warehouse access plan. Produce 1 plank to allow ease of access past the fence. Construct bridge to allow collection of shiny float. Retrieve Chris's remains from warehouse floor. Construct new structurally sound bridge. Is this something I can actually do? Okay. Places to search. Inside of a sequel exhibit. Nearby a fireplace. Yeah. Oh, it's giving me all the places. Looks like 427. Ha ha ha. 5 there be. Just take it from me. Gotta collect them all. A large room, lots of boxes. Okay. Stairs, something to do with stairs. Somewhere both red and blue. And a private but smelly place for an important person. Oh. Is this some kind of game? There must be a point to this. There will be a reward for finding them all. Lies. Who are you? 666 lol. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Stop kidding yourselves. I want to go home. I want them so much. There will be a reward for finding them all. 10 steps to a successful workplace investigation. Collecting is sexy. Beware the false prophet. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. F-files. Where are they? I can't read this. It's too small. Do not leave the office before reporting back on any new findings. Teamwork and communication are of great importance during this unprecedented time of investigation. Thank you. Beware the false prophet. So there's gonna be like a fake figure? Oh jeez. Figurine finders. Oh, that's... It was that little sign on the wall. Yeah, this little sign. Figlies are hard to find. Follow clues provided by employee 416. We can do it. Red room? Thank you and good luck. Maybe we are the collectibles. Shut the fuck. Source of levitation? To whom it may concern, I managed to pick up sounds unusual to our regular office ambiances or local audio sources using an array of cardioid microphones, also known as directional mic, a microphone which picks up sound from a particular area. Analysis of the recordings allowed me to triangulate the source of the strange noise. Data shows that in all likelihood, it's coming from a dark area behind a very warm place. I also picked up what looks to be reverberance off a porcelain surface. Anyone have any leads on this? Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? To do. Clues? My clue. How can we find them? We must beware the false prophet. Small floating objects have appeared across the office. We have to synergize our resources to ensure their retrieval. There are many questions. There was no memo from management. How can you tell you've spotted one? What makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? Well, this one is in the executive bathroom. It says something to do with stairs?
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Could there be one? There is.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Not sure I like that, but okay. Well, there's one in the bathroom. Aha.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it.
I do like that.
It will come to me.
Okay, then it's a room full of boxes, and I guess the room with the red and blue door.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
I actually remembered it.
Was it the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Yes.
Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yes. It's the bucket's doing. The bucket is filled with dark magic. As we know, as we've established.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
I feel so much better with this bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
What do you think, Bucket?
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears.
Oh,
as
don't
Stanley
cry.
cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
Which number are you,
Had the
Bucket?
been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
That's right, the bucket is my only friend.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
That's right, he did. Let's put an end to it, bucket.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind
The
of
lights
things they wanted
slowly
to do
revealing the
once they
bucket.
stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
What the fuck?
An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms, not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room, but at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
I guess not.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
What do you mean it's not the right office? Looks the same as usual to me.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
A room filled with boxes.
No,
Oh, it's
said
there.
the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh. Wait, can you climb up there? Oh, I didn't even think to do that. Oh. Oh. This is teaching me something new. Unless maybe this wasn't here before.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've
Ooh.
nearly gotten all of the figurines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one.
And then?
And then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no figurines. None of us can.
But what about the false prophet? How will I even leave this place? Oh, they have a door for me. Whoa. The hell? Where the hell is this? What in the hell is this place? Narrator sound system?
Okay, this is day number 295, tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Really not a fan of when the game turns into a horror game. Not a fan of that. Like, some parts of this game are actually like scarier than a lot of other games I've played. Like, games that are supposed to be horror are not as scary as some parts of this game. They've really captured the creepy vibe. Can you actually reach that place without the bucket? And then, like, what's on the tape? Well, now we have to check it out. You
But
said like
eager to get back to
Gambata?
business,
Is that like the
Stanley took
true,
the first open door on his
the
left.
true name of the bucket? Like,
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
oh, I should have totally noticed this little space here. I I should have totally noticed that. But then can you just like make your way down safely? I guess no, this place is only here for the figurine. And then you can go through there.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun.
Oh, it's all the different voice lines of the narrator.
So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun.
Dialogue. Narrator dialogue.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling.
I actually hate
it must
that.
be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Fuck.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Like, if really there existed a bucket that just made you feel better as soon as you pick it up, of course, that's like a fucking SCP, you know?
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Should be our final figurine here.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
Right.
What
Forget
if the
about that.
problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
Is it?
Please, step in here for a moment.
Okay. Oh my god. Let's
Now
play.
then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Fucking mysterious music. I'm gonna say no.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket,
Oh.
not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
I'm gonna say no.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
No.
Incorrect. This
Oh.
is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth.
Oh,
As if
yeah.
This was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
No.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What do you mean it's a bucket?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
How can it be both?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Take your time.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
No.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
You're gonna have to erase yourself.
What happened? Is everything gone?
See, I
Why
told
did
you.
everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
I told you.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
I got you.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, that's so unsettling when you change like just one little thing like this. See you later, Bucket. I've got to find my final figurine. And I can't take you with me.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
Yeah. It was okay.
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, he did not.
Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward.
Or is it?
I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that.
Yeah,
so,
true.
instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
We
Now
never
listen carefully,
saw the
this is
false
important.
prophet.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Begin the game again.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with
Just a
one
flat
more trip
picture.
back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Really? You want to go back to the memory zone? Okay. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. I did not think I was gonna be back here.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible.
Can
Back
you
then,
find
we
them?
had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Yeah, this is so creepy. Oh, that's not right. That's not right.
And here was the second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own just by poking around behind the boss's office. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest, back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
I believe it was under the stairs.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, under the stairs. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything. Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Why am I hearing like whispers? I don't like that. What is with this room? So creepy.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
God, remember when videos always looked like that? Thanks for watching. Best boy.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
It was beautiful, truly. It's amazing. And then the final one was, yeah, right there.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figly and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
The funny thing is, you don't have to get these figurines in this specific order, but the game still remembers the order you did it in. Now we have 12 figurines. That's not right. This is wrong. We shouldn't have 12 figurines. You are in the present.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
That was so weird.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop
You're talking to me in the loading
the
screen.
loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Oh, what the hell?
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
This is all kinds of wrong. Are you gonna show me that video again?
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yes, I love that video.
What if I jump down right now? Like, what if I died at this moment? The fucking pink room? What's with the
Still
pink
don't remember
room?
the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
This might be the false prophet. Maybe I shouldn't have picked it up.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Me too. Oh, we never got to... This is the one we never got again. The one in the bathroom. They replaced it with the pink room. That's odd.
This was our second Figly. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
I don't know. Let's see. Right, yeah, we came through here.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more memories. yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
I mean, now we're just replaying the game. Oh, and it's my office.
And before everything else, there was your office.
That's the original.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
The title
There's
screen?
something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Really? Is this really the last one? Are you serious?
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Right, sorry about that. I had to take a break to go eat food. Alright, so what was I doing? Yeah, he said one last run, right? Now, is it going to be actually the last run? Or does he just say that and then you can just keep playing the game however many times you want? I guess the fastest way to find out, what's like the fastest ending, I guess it's the window one, right? Let's just go through the window again.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
Right, and then you have to reset yourself.
There was...
Okay, so I guess you can just keep resetting as many times as you want then.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, is this because you don't want me to go through the window anymore? Huh. Nope, there's just boxes everywhere. Even balloons in the boxes.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Alright, so what haven't we done with the bucket? We haven't gone
Stanley
downstairs.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say.
That does make
here.
sense.
It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
Preposterous.
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years.
I mean, I've learned it was like
Let
an
him have
ancient
it.
evil being, and I'm still friends with it, so... Even after I had to stab it with a knife...
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
This is my bucket now. It's
All
got my name
I've
on
got a
it.
second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Do you have any other stickers back there that you want to use?
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Really sounded like he was leaving there. Alright.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So if you go downstairs, you get like the crazy ending, right? Where you just keep going around in circle.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these.
Yeah.
He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket.
It's impossible. There's my name on it.
How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations
bucket.
Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his.
Oh, God.
None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Oh, God.
It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Wow. That's amazing. There sure are a lot of different versions of this introduction.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nice. I was wondering if the stickers were
The good old bucket.
gonna stay on it.
Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
I was hoping the stickers would still be there. Should I try and go in the elevator with the bucket? I swear if the song sings bucket instead of Stanley, I'm gonna lose it. Okay, no, it still says Stanley. Unfortunately, I have to cut this song out in editing because, believe it or not, it's copyrighted on YouTube.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
And am I really gonna have to replay every ending with the
Although
bucket?
This passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
You'd never hurt my bucket, would you?
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I can't believe they had to
At
change
this point,
every
Stanley and the
ending.
bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Don't hurt my bucket, please.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
No
Farewell,
regrets.
Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, The bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
Or not?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were in ignorance and darkness? Is this an exhibit about the... Oh my god.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Jesus. 25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many... that's way more than 25? Is that the joke? Jesus. That's so many buckets. A bucket with 2 handles. This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. They really did the full-ass... They really did the full-ass exhibit on buckets. Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains, no one can control a bucket. And we can't pick it up. I thought maybe you could like pick it up and see visions. The stress bucket, presented without commentary. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance. Vulnerability equals size and strength of the bucket. Coping strategies equals holes. Rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy. Rest and relaxation. Stress equals the level of water in the bucket. Buckets, buckets, buckets. Hole in the ceiling. Place a bucket. Problem fixed. Cave drawing. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Indeed.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance, inevitably, is for our own good. I'm gonna fall and... Oh. I was gonna fall and die.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
Sure.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Whose baby is this? Who put their real-ass baby in this game forever? We care about you, Stanley. Creepy mannequin is here. My computer is here. The pencil eraser. The broom closet. The baby. It's the fern! That's like the first time we've seen the fern again. Let's go on another adventure.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
I'm not getting rid of the bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I don't want to destroy the bucket.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
Okay, the bucket destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the bucket destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and... The bucket destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Sure. But I don't want to destroy the bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had a good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
There is so
Stanley
much
clutched the
bucket
tightly to his
content
chest. This was not the correct
in
way
this
to the
game.
meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Wish you were here. Aloha from the Freedom ending. Narrator Airlines. I went to the mind control facility and all I got was this lousy sticker. Adventure awaits. I played the demo. The beige pages. Where's my bucket? There it is. Bucket. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press C to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press V to take me back home with you. Ah, see here, they don't let you go through the window.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location.
That is what it does.
That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Press Z for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening.
he's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from, me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket, this stupid hunk of metal.
Press O to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
The bucket is having an effect on the narrator. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press X to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
The narrator's gonna want my bucket. Press R to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press I to go home to work, to home, to work, to home. I'm never going to be able to see a bucket again in any game and look at it the same way.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No.
What is
What's
happening?
going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Oh, so I'm sorry, I keep yawning. It's really late. I'm really tired. Oh God, there's a pan with candles. I'm telling you, this bucket is like an ancient evil. It's the fucking One Ring.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it.
No.
Give it to me now. Give it or
It's
I'll...
my bucket. Go back to work, Stanley.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did
fall
this
here.
place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall.
Thank you.
Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered.
I've never tried doing
Stanley
this.
and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all.
It's still up there.
He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake.
It's fucking
I need
Silent
to do
Hill
what
music.
The narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending, but it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
That was some straight up Silent Hill music.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Wait,
Stanley
I need to do
decided
this
go to
without the
meeting
bucket.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's see what happens. Oh, I should have turned on the light first.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
What band did they get to do this? Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. Well, the bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things.
Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job,
Stanley and the
you did
bucket
it.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
Yes, it's the
Stanley
bucket.
gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Silly birds? Initiating silly birds sequence. Born to data, tracking them all. Live birds, I am Trash Man. Ooh. Those silly little parrots.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him.
Duck!
This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
I love when they
The
do
mind
that, when they do the
controls
little
are
thing
only a
and the little
facade
butt
to
hangs out of the
disguise
water.
its
It's
true
the best.
intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his
Owl.
hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely
Oh, that's a
the
goose.
best.
Never mind. That's not a duck.
And Stanley was happy.
I sure am. Show me the ducks again. All right. I don't really know. Whoa, that's trippy. I don't really know how much more there is that I could do. Like, I've probably forgotten a couple of endings that I could have done with the bucket. Maybe there's even like more new content from the Ultra Deluxe version that I am missing. I think this is a game that would be very, very difficult to like see 100% of the things available. I feel like I probably saw most of it at this point. So if I've missed any like obvious ones at this point, do feel free to tell me in the comments, at least to tell me how to get there, like not necessarily what they are, but like maybe how to get there. And then if there's enough of them, I might do another episode. But I think for now, it's probably going to be the last episode. Like even if there is a bit more, I don't know if it's enough for me to do like a full episode. I don't know. You guys let me know. But this was yet another very trippy, very creepy, kind of scary, but full of surprises, full of character. This is a truly unique game that's just always taking you on these weird trips, and like it's got so many clever ideas. It's very funny, but yeah, it's also very creepy. A lot of kind of scary, unsettling moments. But honestly, I just cannot think of a better thing to end the episode on than videos of ducks. By now, you probably know how much I love ducks, and so this feels like the perfect ending for this playthrough. So that's going to be it for me for now. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping me a little like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider subscribing. Next week, I'm going to be playing a different game. I was thinking maybe Chance of Sonar. It's one I've been really interested in, and so it might be next on the channel. So make sure and tune in for that one. And until next time, I had fun playing this. Hope you had fun watching it, and I will see you in the next video. À la prochaine!